Nick said try different camera angles, so that's what I'm doing. Greetings boys and gits, and welcome again to Dread Waaagh Gaming. In this episode, we're going to be having a third-party focus look at Ramshackle Games. Who are Ramshackle Games? Well, it's a good question because I myself didn't know until recently, and I knew the guy behind it, Curtis Felt, before that. So it's one of those that's easily missed, but you shouldn't miss it because they've got some fantastic bits for us Ork collectors. And I'm going to show you in detail some of those bits coming right up. But before that, let's take a look at the news.
Hello and welcome to the news. I'm here on this boat, and I'm going to go and see 6 Plus Stevo for a special report on what's been going on in the community, because it seems we've got a chance to have a little grumble. Brilliant! Let us know what it's about there, Steve.
Thank you, Dread Waaagh. Yes, it's me, 6 Plus Stevo, reporting for you guys out in the field. So GW's big community survey 2019 has gone live, and I strongly urge you guys to get on there, complete that survey. I did mine last night. I shared my views about October and the releases we had, what I would like to see from them, what I'd like to see less of from them, and it's a rare opportunity, guys, to have your voices heard and yeah, just share your views, share your feelings. Let GW know that we want more multi-build kits. We don't want any more of this mono build rubbish we've been getting. We want a new Gaslands. We want a new war boss. I want Nazdreg back, but yeah, we need more kits like that. We need some new life breathed into the greenskins, and yeah, just share your thoughts, share your feelings. Let them know that you want your big mechs with KFFs back, you want your pain boys on bikes back, we want options back, we want, you know, choices back. Yeah, so that's pretty much it really. Get on there, let them know what you want. It's well worth your time. It takes about 10-15 minutes to complete, but you know, it's worth doing. So anyway, guys, that's it from me and the ducks, and it's back to you, Dread, in the studio.
Right, nice one, Steve-O, thanks. Make sure you have a grumble, guys. And we've got a new member of the Waaagh group, and that is Barry Young, who's just started a Waaagh. And you can find him on Underdog Painting. He's got his own YouTube channel, so go and check it out. Also in the news, the Idic Beer Terrain Square Challenge is over. It's finished and it's being judged right now. I don't think I got anywhere close to even being a proper entry because mine weren't finished painted. Although like, I did get like 4 colours on there, and some people, don't want to point any fingers, didn't paint it all that much more than I did, so whatever. But it's all about taking part and having fun, isn't it, guys? Also, your last chance to get 50% off at Puppets War is coming to an end really soon because they're running out of the old stock. And they've been teasing some of the new stock. Have a look at this. Awesome! We'll see you next time in the news.
Ramshackle Games is the product or brainchild of Curtis Felt. Now, some of you guys probably know that name from in the community because Kurt's very active in the community, especially the Ork community. Don't know about the wider 40k community, but I know him purely from an Ork perspective because that's all I do. So I had actually befriended Kurt on Facebook quite some time ago because of his active nature and his good advice that he gives and stuff like that. So there you are, like I knew of him, but I didn't know of Ramshackle Games. And that's why I thought it was really important to make this episode once I did find out, because he does some really useful things for us Orks, as I will show you very soon. But before I do, I just want to give you a little background on how he got started out and how he ended up making Ramshackle Games. So, just like myself, as a kid, Kurt couldn't really afford GW products. A few of us probably could. Some of us were fairly poor, but we still really wanted to play it, or really wanted to collect the models or paint the models. Either way, the hobby attracted us in a way that we couldn't really afford. So Kurt, like me, bought a few boxes of minis, or one box at a time, and because he was limited on how many minis he could actually afford to buy, he spent a lot of time really making them really special. So in order to give them a personal touch, he would convert up little add-ons for them, and when it came to options that he that didn't come in the kit, for example, like for example burners and stuff like that, he would make his own, so that then he could, instead of buying a box of specialists or anything like that, he'd just buy more boys because that was cheaper, and give them options that he made himself out of bits of plastic and plastic cards. So he started out doing that for himself, and after a short while of making little cool conversions and sharing them with other people said, "Ooh, I would like a copy of that." This is a very common theme when it comes to these small third-party companies, because quite often these people that create these fantastic things for the rest of us do so because they were doing it for themselves to start with. They really have a passion for the hobby themselves. They really enjoy making orky bits, and we really enjoy their bits so much that we go, "Oi, you give me some of that." So that's all they're doing really, and that's exactly what Kurt is doing with Ramshackle Games. But obviously he didn't go straight from being a kid making conversions and stuff like this and then, you know, passing a few things out on forums to just Ramshackle Games. It didn't happen like that. In fact, there was a bit of a trigger point, and it happened back in 2005 when Kurt was battling a bunch of beakies. True story, right? And one of them stabbed him in the right eye with his chainsword and actually blinded him in the right eye. But Kurt finished the Space Marine off, bashed his head in, and then he went home and had a little think about life. And I think he decided to himself, well, if I'm going to go bashing Space Marines for a living, I might as well actually make it a living. So he decided to turn his hobby into a career, which is kind of what I'm trying to do myself. So well done to you, Kurt, for making it a success. The most important thing that he's gained out of this new move is that he's now doing what he loves most as his career, which is exactly why I want to do it, because I am actually a trained engineer myself, and there's good money in that, but I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do something related to this hobby. And Kurt felt the same way. After his accident, he decided he wanted to focus on something he really enjoyed, and he made a great success out of it. So well done to you, Kurt. Top bloke. Let's have a look at those top models that he produces. Okay guys, so first up we have the Anvil. Let's have a little look at the Anvil. This is very, very big, chunky piece of kit. Got this one huge big chunk here. Got some small detail bits. All the blasty weapons for the turret, which I take it that's... Oh no, they're side sponsors, that's what they would be, I'd suggest, possibly. Oh, this is the bit I'm most excited about. Tracks. Awesome. Oh, they are so cool. See, if you wasn't... I mean, this is a fantastic kit. As you see in the pictures, it's a great model to be putting together, but looking at it for possibilities, as I'm looking at all of these kits as possibilities for building my own vehicles, and looking at them more so as spares and bits and bobs like that than actual kits. I mean, they make some fantastic kits, and a few of them I might make up as they are and then convert them, but I mean, just taking a look at these tracks is just making me think of all the things I'd like to do with them. So yeah, they're probably going to be for a conversion entire. But there you go. We've got these couple of armour plates that go on there nicely. Nice bit of detailing of the rivets. Nice. Heavy block there with a few bits of detailing on. See, when you're a scratch builder, or a kit basher, as it's more likely to be called if you're doing this, is if you're kit bashing, you're taking bits from models and finding other uses for them. You know, like this for example is off the back of the engine, I presume, but that can go on the back of a dreadnought, for example, you know. And if you're scratch building a battle wagon completely yourself, and you built some great big tracks or something like that, like this big chunk might be useful as part of the hull, you know. Like, this is just the way I look at things. I try to think of them as what they could be as shapes in my own thing. You know, don't try and imagine what they are as the kit when they're put together. Just try and imagine them as something entirely different. Oh, look at that. It's got some lovely lovely texture on that. It's got the kick plate pattern. Floor checker plate. Very nice. Yeah. Handy. And that's just, see that? You can put some glue on the edge of that. That can be just a step-off plate for a mech gun, for, you know, on the side of a vehicle, you know, for somebody to stand on the edge or whatever. You know, so many, it can be on a piece of terrain. So many uses for this sort of stuff. That's why when I saw these kits on Ramshackle Games, I was like, wow, these are multi-part, yes, brilliant, okay, I'm getting them, because there's lots of very cool looking bits and bobs on them. So that's number one. That is the Anvil. Next up, we have the Leveaux. This is like a slightly larger than Grot tank, miniature tank. Let's go for the paw. Oh, there we are. Not too bad, eh? Right, so first of all, some gorgeous little tracks. Really nice. Lovely. I'm always glad to see tracks, and once you get, if you haven't started doing it already, once you start scratch building and converting, you are going to fall in love with pre-made tracks, because making your own is a deep breath. Here we are. Right, so there you go. I'm still thinking of my nan. I'm trying not to swear too much, and my go-to swear word begins with a C, so I'm really being a good boy on this channel. I'm trying my best to... Oh, hello. Something just popped off. Woo! Oh, that probably was sitting in one of them holes. Yeah, there you are. So there you are. There's the general body shape. Then you've got the turret. You know, this thing that goes up on the back there somewhere. Up there, I think. And then some awesome weapons. Oh, wicked. Oh, I've got to get these out of the bag and show you guys. These look wicked. So these are for this turret here. So that's the front of that. So we've got this zappy. Look at that. Look at the lovely little details in that, guys. That's really nice. It's got some lovely textures. I don't know how well you can see. Look. That's cool. As with a lot of resin kits, there's some little bits of tidy up and stuff to do, but not too much. These are actually really fairly clean. So there's that. There's big ass cat. Look at that. Yeah, nice. Oh, hello. I'm going to drop it. Las Cannony type one. Oh, focus. There you are. Right, so one goes that way around. See that? Cool. There's a double Las Cannony one. There you are. And looks like something looted from Tau. That one, doesn't it? Tau weapon. Does look very Tau. Cool. But yeah, I think that is a fantastic little kit, and it will make a really good sort of Grot tank commander tank or something like that, you know. Very cool. Next up, we have the brass coffin. This one, when I saw it, I was like, okay, look, I don't care how this comes, I've got to get it, because it just looks incredible. It comes as one big chunk, but look at it. It's, well, I say one big chunk. There's the wheels are in there. It's only the wheels that come separate. The most of it is just one chunk. Like that is just beast. It needs some dags, some teeth put on the front bit here, because this to me is like a jaw and a visor. So that I've been making it more like a window, or maybe getting one of those. Just get a targeter off the top of one of the shooters and stick it in there, so it looks like they're looking out through a window there. But yeah, some nice little details on that. Liking it. And even the front plates is textured up a bit, roughed up, like hammered. Very nice. Cool. Well done, Kurt. I like that. That's very interesting. And the wheels are in the bag, guys. There's not really too much to show there, just some wheels. Okay? But they're big wheels, and they're very useful, of course. Next up, we have the pickup truck. So this one would be a good one as a stand-in for your standard Ork truck, I would imagine. We've got a long piece, which will be, that'll be the front wheels, that'll be the back wheels. That's going to go on there somewhere, I'd imagine. Let's have a quick look. It reminds me a bit of the Puppets War bus in a sense. So if I make this look a little bit like that, or make the two of them fit together a little bit well, they look really good on the tabletop together, seeing as I've got the other. That is the back piece. Very worn, beaten metal. I'm glad it's been detailed on this part too, because if you didn't want to butt it up against that, you can use it elsewhere. Little door hatches at the back, so I presume that goes on there somewhere. Oh, this will probably go in between. There we are. Fuel tank. That's probably going to have something underneath it, maybe. I'm not sure. Figure that out. I didn't look at the picture before doing this, but you guys have the privilege of looking at the picture right now. So there you go. You can work it out. Got a bag. Oh, look. Nice details. More wheels. Some cutting to do. So a lot of the I'll show you just very quickly what I'm talking about. A lot of the resin comes with, it would have been made on a flat sheet, or it has oozed out through the top of something flat, so you get a lot of bits, but they just snap off the edges. Now you can go around and tidy that up with your finger, but I mean, if you start off with your finger, get the worst off, and then just go around with a knife or a file and tidy up. It's all good, you know, simple. I just want to show you guys how easy that is. Not an issue. So Kurt sent me some spares which I can use for conversions, because he knew that was what I was going to be using things for. So I actually got a set of the tracks extra. I also got a set of really small triangular tracks that are really good for a grot tank. Brilliant, in fact. Very handy. And then I also got these, which I think are also grot tank size, although they are a large grot tank, granted it would be, or maybe they're about the same size as something that would be like the Cromlech, the war platform thing, the Sturm tankette or whatever. No, what is it called? The thing with an Ork stand in the back shooting some rockets that's on tracks. It's about the same sort of size as that, these tracks, I'd say. So you can make your own version of that with those as well. Very cool. Nice. So Kurt knew I was a fan of tracks, so he helped me out a little bit there. And also turrets and bits and bobs for battle wagons and stuff like that, and wheels and stuff. So he knew what I'd like, and he sent me some really handy stuff. So that's the tracks. Look, I've got an engine. Really cool. We got, these are large. These are very large mounted weapons. Got another Tau typey one. Big cannon one. Really nice. Like that one. Another big Gatler one and a big lobber one. Oh, look at that. Very nice. All right. And we also have, so talking of battle wagons and stuff like that, I asked for a few, like this is a top from one of his other vehicles that you can just buy separately. And I thought, yeah, that's really good for the top of a battle wagon or something like that, because these circular holes, I presume, well, I haven't actually double checked yet. I will double check before this video is out and tell you, but I'm sure that these are like fairly standard sizes. So if I go having my mounted turrets and stuff on top of these things, when I take them off, it's so nice to have some detail underneath like that. What a beautiful effort to have gone and done. I mean, like, yeah, I just love it. I just think that's really awesome. I was like, yeah, I've got to have that. And just all the little nooks and details and stuff, like all this stuff takes so much time to make that sometimes having just something like that you can slap on the top of something. If you've made all the rest of it out of plasticard yourself, it's all a box and that, and you just add a few bits and bobs like this, it's really going to bring it together, you know? This is another fine example. This is something you can stick on the back of a truck. Let's get it in focus. A winch, you know, like handy. Very nice. So that's the sort of thing. I love all that sort of stuff. Here's another example. Another turret top type thing. Top of the vehicle. Love it. Nice little details. Great. I could buy a whole bag of stuff like that. I really could. I'd be happy. Got part of the front of a ram, hydraulic rammy thing by the looks of it. Hydraulic opening door or something like that. Definitely find a use for that, especially with that plate on it. I love that checker plate pattern. Nice. Awesome. That is 100% definitely meant to be Orky, isn't it? Look at that. Orky platform. Mostly wood. A little bit of metal strapped on the outside for protection. Very nice. That'd be good in my scrap heap for my grots. That'd be ideal in my scrap heap for my grots, actually. So I think that's what I probably will use that for. Yeah, more than likely will do. Got some more floor check plate because I love that stuff, don't I? That's a nice, another one that you can use on the side of a weapon or something like that, like a mech gun or something like that as a standing platform. A whole lot of little mountable weapons. As you can see, there's las cannon-y type things. Oh, there's things on the floor. These are cannons. There's double blasters. There's all sorts of things in there. Look, oh, actually, that's not even a weapon. That's definitely not a weapon. But, yeah, flamers, scorchers, burners, whatever you want to call them. They make fire. That's what they do. Yeah, fantastic. Always useful to have in your bits box, isn't it, really? And talking of little details, these are a few extra bits and bobs. So they're mostly turrets, see? Bits and bobs of turrets that I can use on tops of vehicles. And there's also this, which is really handy for on the back of a vehicle, for if you're towing or something like that. Very cool, nice little detail. And also these, there's a couple of these little computer modules, which are handy for things like, you know, like on your Necromunda doors or stuff like that, you know, or even a lot of the new vehicles, the mono build crappy ones, they've got a lot of like visible control panels and stuff like that. So if you want to go putting some into some of your other vehicles, make them all tie in a bit more and make them look like they're of a relatively same standard of detail and quality and all the rest, things like that are helpful. You know, I like to add details to everything, so cool beans. Here we have some beer kegs. I ordered these because I had this idea for a terrain piece, which is a fungus brew house, which is an orc pub. And I just thought, having a few kegs outside, I'm going to call it the Goblin, but I'm going to pronounce the I-N-N at the end, like an inn. So I'm going to have like a sign hanging out, the Goblin, have a couple of these kegs out the door, sign saying, you know, fungus brew, 2 teeth or something like that, you know, like, or 1 tooth, something like that. But yeah, I thought they were really cool, nice little detail to add to things like scenery like that. Or you could have like an orc boss who's famously drunk or whatever. You could have a stack of kegs up behind him and have a big mug of beer in his hand or something like that, you know, like they do with the White Dwarf sometimes. Something like that'd be fun, wouldn't it, eh? More turret tops. These are awesome for grot tanks. They're basically the exact same size as grot tank turrets, so that's what I'm going to be using those for. They are, yeah, there's a bigger one, a middly one, and a smaller one, but they all are basically grot tankish size, and they'd be great for, you know, like those turrets on battle wagons and stuff like that too. So yeah, great, fantastic. I love this stuff. Big bag of barrels, because who doesn't need barrels, especially when you're making scenery? So it's always useful to have a load of barrels. Thank you very much, Kurt. 1 bag of wheels. Yeah, cool. I've got lots and lots of wheels now. I'm a big collector of wheels. They're so useful because they're one of the most difficult things to make yourself. So whenever I find a new supplier and they've got some wheels that look half decent, I generally nab the wheels because just like tracks, they're hard to make and so handy to grab. So they're usually fairly cheap as well, you know, so no harm. Now we get to the really exciting stuff. These last 3 bits are the things I'm really excited about. So this, I've got to pour it out and show you. Right, these is all exhaust and smokestacks, and one just went on the floor. But look, check those out. Look at them. So orky. My eyes like loving that one. It's so old school. So awesome. All different variants. So many different types of. And I've got loads of them here. And there's ones that are mounted on walls. You know, they've got a back piece. They're really detailed. Really cool. Really nice. Little things to add on. There's a double pipe one there. Look. This is pure gold in here. Look. Oh, I've got 2 of those. Oh, they'd be brilliant for killer cans. Woohoo! They're slightly smaller than the other one, which was good for a dreadnought, as I said. So they'd be good for killer cans. Very awesome. I just love that thing. Look at that. That is such a cool little chimney. Very cool. Very old school. Right, really well. Even if you're not doing Orks and you want to do something that's kind of a bit steampunky, pack like this, you'd be well away. Okay, this is something I was really excited about. These are orky looking doors. I mean, they're doors, but I mean, Christ, you couldn't get more orky looking. They are very definitely orky doors. And they're so cool. Look at them. Very, very orky doors, like I said. Awesome sauce. Absolutely love those. I think I might make a range of those myself, because making doors isn't difficult and they're so pretty. I just love them. Just awesome details. Really like this one. Looks like really like no one's ever going in there. This one, love the round window. Really cool. I like this one too. And there's one with the dags. See, I like them all. They're all so cool. Yeah, awesome. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just taking a moment to take them in myself. Right, so on to the very last thing, which is arguably between this and the other thing my favourite, because they're just so versatile and something I love so much, and that is armour plates. I've got so many of them as well. So many. Oh, this is a Scratch Builder Converter's wet dream in a bag. That's what that is. Look at that. These are so much like the, tell you what, these are absolutely perfect. These are just like the cheat sheets from the green one as well. So the green one does a cheat sheet. I will show you in just a moment. But this is very, very, very similar. Sort of, you know, this is what I love for Orks, is being able to get hold of a load of armour plates, cut them up, slice and dice, put them here, put them there. You know, you can make your own, sure. It's really easy to make armour plates out of plastic card. Really, really easy. And we're definitely going to have an Orc Centrals on making armour plates. Don't you worry about that. But these packs are awesome too. If you're making... See, the thing is you don't want to do any one thing too much. So if you just buy them and stick them on, it will look okay. But I buy these to add in to scratch built stuff. You know, but if you do all scratch built, it looks great, but again, it's okay. If you go combining things, if you combine scratch built panels with purchase panels from different people too, you can get some real variation, and it really does look awesome then. So like, you know, if I go combining this with some that I made myself, they won't have that same scratching in them. It won't be the same way as the ones that I make. So these definitely will look like a different piece of metal. If I'm going around the whole of my vehicle and I use this exact technique that he has used here, and I copy this the whole way around my vehicle, then it's all going to look very samey. Even though they're panels that are cut oddly and blah blah blah, they're all going to have the same type of damage. Whereas if I then mix that up with, say, look at that, that's an entirely different type of damage. They are from two different packs that he provides. So, you know, already I'm mixing it up by buying different packs of armour. One was sculpted by one person, one by another as it goes. So, you know, I mean, these things you can cut and make yourself very easy as well. You can buy that textured plastic card. Very easy to do, but again, having it cast like this, it's got little details that have been added to it by someone else, little chips that have been done by someone else, not by you, which adds variety. So I'm all for buying this sort of stuff. I think it's awesome. Definitely do it. If you're a low budget orca, then just buy some wheels, some armour plates, and some tracks and stuff like that, and maybe some weapon tips, and Bob's your uncle. Get away with it. You know what I mean? And talking of armour plates, that's what I was talking about. These are the ones from the green one. Cheat sheets. So basically it comes as one sheet like this, and then say you want a rectangle, you cut out the rectangle you want. You can draw it on the back, even on the flat piece, and then cut it out, and bomb, there you go, big chunky bit. So combining this, look, I mean, them two are entirely different in style to each other anyway. That one's actually thicker, chunkier. This one's more reminiscent of like these plates here, with the thickness, you know, a couple of layers, and that works really well with that, doesn't it, eh? You know, see what I'm saying, guys? See what I'm saying? Lovely stuff. Gotta love some armour. So guys, if you'd like to get your hands on some Ramshackle Games products, then I have a special exclusive offer just for you. All you need to do is fill in coupon code DREADWAAGH when you come to the checkout on Ramshackle Games, and you will receive 10% discount. That's right, I'm offering 10% discount with DREADWAAGH as your discount code. Good luck guys, hope you enjoy. And now you gits, it's time for Dear Dread. Garzinski asks, Dear Dread, what do you even do with those projects that you spent years completing, and just when you think they're almost done, GW go and change the bloody codex and they drop the model from it entirely? Well, I found myself in that situation myself a few times, and I know plenty of other people that have too. In fact, some of the best Ork modelers out there gave up because they got fed up with models being dropped out of the bloody codex. It is a pain in the rear, isn't it, really? It is kind of our own faults because we take so long building things, but it frustrates me. Do you know what you should do about it? You should take yourself on down to the Warhammer community page and fill out that bloody server they have on there. I had to do mine twice. That's why I'm laying down. I'm exhausted. I had to do mine twice, so I filled it out and didn't only press the wrong button and end up going back and losing the whole bloody thing. So I did it twice and I had a bloody good rant too. First and second time. It felt great. So I suggest you do that. It's like therapy. There's so much you can tell them. Make sure you guys do. Tell them how frustrated you are at them bloody mono build buggies. Tell them how annoying it is that we don't have our biker options and mega armor options for our characters. Tell them what annoys you guys. Tell them how frustrating it is to be an Ork player and have these things happen to us the whole time. I did. Kind of helped, I guess. Go do it. Now then guys, please don't forget to keep those Dear Dread questions coming, and don't forget to keep sending me them community showcase images of your finished Ork work or terrain. I'm actually receiving a few of these things now, and if you haven't seen your stuff yet, don't worry, it will be showcased, and if you haven't heard your question asked, don't worry, it will be answered. It's just they're relevant to some episodes. Some of the questions I received are relevant to some episodes that I'm doing, and some of the pictures that you sent me are relevant to episodes I'm doing, so I'm saving them for them ones. But keep them coming guys, really loving what I'm receiving, and your stuff will be on the channel, as I'm about to show Stig Kelly stuff in this week's community showcase. Don't forget, there's still time to get involved in the Dread Captain competition! Coming up next week, guys, we have another Ork Centrals episode, and this one is on Plasticard. It's like a 101, and that's because Squig Boss Mad Knobs asked in the community, Dread, what is that white stuff even? It was saying like that anyway. It was like, in all those amazing builds, what is even that white stuff? So, Squig Boss Mad Knobs, good name, I'm going to answer that in next week's Ork Centrals episode. So I'm going to get playing with some plastic card, which is what that white stuff is, and some plastic rod, which is also what it is. You can look it up now, but don't wait till next week because it's going to be a good episode. And in that episode, I'm going to talk you through what it is, where to get it, some of the pros and cons of some of the different types, and I'm going to use it. I'm actually going to make some little Ork armor plates. And in doing so, I'm going to do some sort of chipping like we did with the knives in the last episode of the Ork Centrals. Was it Ork Centrals? Yeah, it was. We're going to play around with the knives like in Tools of the Trade, which I'll throw it up. Ka-chow! Throw it up there, right? So after we'll do a little bit of chipping up and all the rest, you'll see what you can do with just a few simple techniques with plastic card. But I'm also going to make some rivets on there. And talking of rivets, Kurt of Ramshackle Games gave me 3 fantastic bits of advice that I want to share with you guys, because if you don't know about these 3 things, then they're little bits of info that are really good to have in your arsenal. Number 1, Lego is made of the same high impact polystyrene. So it's basically going to react with your polystyrene cement, which is your plastic glue, the stuff that GW gives away, or the stuff that Leveaux make, and all the other makes. Humbrol make one, all of them make one. But polystyrene cement will melt Lego to plastic card, and sometimes Lego, it is expensive Lego, but sometimes for certain shapes it can be cheaper than using plastic card, and easier, saves you a lot of effort in some respects. So that's a good thing to remember. Lego is very useful for scratch building. Number 2 is that when you're making rivets, rather than trying to slice lots of little discs that are the same size, which is very difficult. If anyone's ever tried it, a lot of people have used that technique. I've used that technique loads in the past, but I moved on, and Kurt seems to too. And what he does is he'll actually cut a small rod, like make his rivet a bit longer than it needs to be, glue that on, and let that set for 24 hours. And then he'll come back, once all of them all stuck on everywhere, then he'll come back and he'll file them all down to the right size. I think that's a good idea, guys, because that's going to save you having them all odd sizes and weird edges. It's much nicer to do it that way. One thing I would suggest, if you want to take it a step further, is take a pin vise and drill in, and then you can slide your rivet in if it's a bit of a stick, you know, or your hex stick or whatever. I'll show you that in the next episode, like I say. Advice piece number 3 that Kurt gave us was that something. What was it? Advice piece number 3 that Kurt gave us was actually a good one that I hadn't actually thought of myself, which I should have thought of. It's real obvious when you think about it, but you know, you just don't think about it. When you're trying to create battle damage on a piece of plastic card, most of us reach for the hobby knife and we chip away at the edges and we give it a nice rough chipping away and cut out some little notches and stuff like that. We might drag the knife across the front, we might fracture it with a knife, we might get a Dremel and we might put a little sanding pad on it, or a little ball on it, a little metal ball or something like that, and pummel it up with that a little bit. But how many of us have thought to do this? Grab hold of that piece of plastic card and chew it. That's a great idea, Kurt. It's a really good one, and I'm going to try that in the next episode because I think that's a really just simple but brilliant idea. Great, thank you very much. So I hope you guys enjoyed these tips too, and I hope you're going to join me for this next episode on Orc Centrals next week. Don't forget though to like, share and subscribe, as the sign says over there, and join the Facebook group, the Dread Waaagh Gaming group. Alright guys, see you next week. Don't forget, the Dread Captain competition is still on, so get involved!